Hello and welcome to the Wolf and Us YouTube channel. My name is Fraser. I'll be your guide through history's dark and mysterious alleyways. And welcome back to another exciting episode. This week we are continuing our exploration into the weird events surrounding Point Pleasant, West Virginia, I believe in 1966. As always, if you enjoy our content, like and subscribe. But without any further ado, let's get into the story of Mothman. You've been clamoring for it. You're ready for it. Here we go. Mothman, hide your lamps. Moths, the butterfly's dusty cousin. They aren't the most beautiful, smartest, or least pesky animals in the world. Can you tell I don't like moths? Imagine reaching into your closet for your favorite sweater, and out from that exact same sweater flies an irate moth. Now imagine that moth is the size of a large man. The Mothman of Point Pleasant, West Virginia, has fascinated scholars of the weird for decades. Sightings of the Mothman began in 1966. I was right. Strange things had been happening in West Virginia for a while before Mothman showed up. Unidentified flying objects were reported in the area. There was even an encounter with the alien calling himself Indrid Cold, the Smiling Man. Most descriptions of the Mothman are of a humanoid bird or bat. The name Mothman seems to have come from a throwaway comment made by a journalist. Saturday night, November 12th, digging graves. The first of the world's mothiest man. The first sighting of the world's mothiest man happened on a chilly Saturday night in Clendenin, West Virginia. Several men were digging graves in the Clendenin Cemetery that night, a town near Point Pleasant. Completely normal Saturday night activities aside, the men got the feeling that they weren't quite alone in that graveyard. Cemeteries are spooky places to be at any time of day. But an autumn evening might be the creepiest. The leaves are dying, the ghosts are singing. It's fantastic. After probably checking the graves around them for signs of zombies or ghosts, one of the men happened to glance up at a tree. He cried out in terror. Soon, his fellow gravesmen saw it too. Leaping from tree to tree was a winged humanoid creature. They described it as brown and human-like. Which is so dumb, guys, come on. Did it have wings? Was it just a dude? After leaping through a few trees, the creature launched itself into the sky, passing over the gravediggers' heads. Tuesday night, November 15th, playing with dynamite. Roger and Linda Scarberry drove out to the old World War II munitions factory with their friends Mary and Steve Mallet. The TNT area was a favorite of local couples looking to get spooky near Point Pleasant. They arrived at the TNT area expecting nothing more than a creepy old factory. Instead, they came face to face with what they described as a 6 to 7 foot, that's 1.8 to 2.1 meters tall creature with bright red eyes. Linda Scarberry stated that she was unable to make out any facial features due to the creature's hypnotic gaze. Roger Scarberry and Steve Mallet told the Point Pleasant Register that the creature had a 10-foot, that's 3-meter, wingspan and massive glowing red eyes spaced 6 inches apart. It's around 15.2 centimeters apart. It's crazy wide. It was like a man with wings, Mallet said. It wasn't like anything you'd see on a TV or in a monster movie. They watched the creature hopping around awkwardly for a while. Mothman didn't like their headlights and seemed to be trying to avoid them. Very unmothly behavior, if you ask me. Eventually, the creature took to the air. The couple's relief turned to terror as they realized that it was flying right at them, just like a moth. So it didn't like the headlights, unmothly, but then it flies right at you like some damn dirty moth. Roger floored it, and they sped off into the darkness. To their horror, the winged creature was still gliding above their vehicle, not flapping though. When they hit 100 miles per hour, it was still there. That's 160 kilometers per hour. The pursuit ended when they reached Route 62. "I'm a hard guy to scare," Scarberry said. but last night I was for getting out of there. After making it into town, they decided to go back to the TNT area. They found the creature waiting for them. This time they got a good look at it. Well, a better look. According to their interview with the press, they described it as light grey with eyes that shone red only when illuminated by the headlights, so not internally luminous. The creature walked off into a nearby field, ending their encounter. "If I had seen it while by myself, I wouldn't have said anything," Scarberry commented. "But there were 4 of us who saw it." Sightings continue. Enter the Sandhill Crane. According to the Gettysburg Times, 8 more sightings of the Mothman happened in the next 3 days. One sighting highlighted in the article was by 2 deputy firefighters. Captain Paul Yoder and Benjamin Enochs claimed to have seen an extremely large bird with glowing red eyes. Their description led Dr. Robert L. Smith, professor of wildlife biology at West Virginia University, to come up with the theory of the Sandhill Crane being responsible for the sightings of the mystery beast. Let's take a look at the Sandhill Crane. Adult male cranes of the Sandhill variety grow up to 1.2 meters tall, that's 3.9 feet, and have a wingspan of up to 2 meters, 6.5 feet. They are comparable to the average 7-year-old child, so not an exact match for the 7-foot tall, muscular humanoid with a 10-foot wingspan. Newell Partridge lived roughly 100 miles, that's 160 k's, north of Point Pleasant. He blames Mothman for the disappearance of his German shepherd named Bandit. Poor Bandit. He didn't deserve to get mothed up. According to Newell, he saw the creature in a meadow near his home, roughly 90 minutes before the sighting at the TNT area. We already know that the Mothman can fly over 100 miles per hour, so it's close enough. Newell and Bandit were watching TV when strange patterns appeared on the screen. He claimed the TV was acting like a generator. At the same time, Bandit started freaking out. Partridge exited his home with Bandit. He shone a flashlight into the field and saw a tall figure with eyes like red reflectors. Bandit's hackles rose and he charged into the field after the creature. Newell was too terrified to pursue his pup, and Bandit was never seen or heard from again. There was a flurry of activity over the course of the next year. Hundreds of people rushed to the TNT area in the hopes of catching a glimpse of the elusive Mothman. It all came to a head on 15th of December 1967. The Silver Bridge collapses. So the Silver Bridge was built in 1928. It connected Point Pleasant, West Virginia to Kanawha, Ohio. The bridge was named after the aluminium-colored paint used after its completion, so not quite silver, more of an aluminium bridge. Bridges are built to withstand the stresses of its time, and the Silver Bridge wasn't designed for the heavier vehicles of the late 60s. During rush hour on 15th of December 1967, a faulty eye-bar joint and a dodgy weld failed. The collapse took seconds and resulted in the death of 46 people and injuring 9. Vehicles' bodies and gift-wrapped Christmas presents were all swallowed by the Ohio River. Some witnesses claimed to see the Mothman atop the bridge before it collapsed. Following the collapse of the Silver Bridge, the sightings of Mothman abruptly ended. Was it trying to warn the people of Point Pleasant, or did it cause the collapse? John Keel and his investigation into the Mothman is where we will begin part 2, which is really part 3 of our series if you count Indrid Cold, which was the first episode where I mentioned the Mothman, and now we're getting into the Mothman, so it's really part 2 now, but it could also be seen as part 1, because now is the first time I'm directly talking about Mothman. If you enjoyed that video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, send it to everybody you know. Contact your grandma, ask if she has sent it to everybody she knows. Grannies love my content. Actually, I have no idea if that's true. I don't have one, so I couldn't say. So if you like that content, do all the things. Comment down below. Do you think Mothman ate through the bridge like it ate through my favorite sweater? Am I salty about moths? Who knows? But what I do know is, until next time, you stay smart. Peace.